I would like to ask the conference if any delegation is still wishing to cast their vote. If you are please raise your country card. As this is the practice vote, we will close the vote early. Now may I request the voting team to close the votes early. The vote is now closed. I ask the voting team to publish the results on the screen. With 560 votes in favor, 83 votes up against, and 72 votes abstain, the motion is carried that purple is the favorite color of this conference. We hope that all the delegations are now familiar with the voting for today and are ready to get started.
Well, after stretching our muscles with the practice vote, let's begin the very first official votes of today. And thank you in advance to all delegations for their involvement in the decision-making process of the conference on the important topics that have been proposed. Let's now proceed with the appointment of the tellers. The tellers will oversee the voting procedure and count or verify the number of votes recorded during the conference. In accordance with the conference rules of procedure, the World Scout Committee recommends 12 tellers to be appointed as shown on the screen. 12 tellers have been recommended so that sufficient support is available for the voting process. If we need to switch to using manual or paper voting as part of our backup solutions if need be. Remember, for each plenary session, a group of tellers will be assigned with the rest of the tellers on standby. These will be activated by the World Scout Bureau if additional tellers support is required. As you see the names of the recommended tellers on the screen, can I call all the tellers to stand up in plenary where you can be seen and recognized? The proposed tellers, please stand up. We clap for them. Thank you. Thank you so much for volunteering to support the conference. Conference. The motion is moved for consideration. The conference appoints the following individuals as tellers of the 43rd World Scout Conference. I now invite all heads of delegations to move to their e-voting system to get ready to cast their vote. As a quick reminder, if you encounter any issue, you can raise your country card or reach out to the help desk online. And now ask the voting team to confirm if all is in order and if you are ready to proceed with the vote. The voting team can now open the vote. Conference, the vote will be open for 5 minutes. With the vote open, delegations can now proceed to vote. A reminder, this vote is considered by simple majority. Thank you, conference. In less than a minute, we have over 80 of us already voted. Thank you so much for the prompt. Continue voting. If you're experiencing any challenge, remember, just raise your country card and someone shall be with you. Those of us following online, do not forget to seek help on the help desk feature, bottom right corner of your screen, of the voting screen. Keep voting. We are over 103 votes now. Anybody experiencing any challenge, please remember to raise your country card and raise it high until someone comes close to you to offer assistance. Those of us online, please remember the help desk, bottom right corner of the voting system, so that you can get assistance. We want as many as us who are willing to vote to vote. 113 votes so far, with 2 minutes to spare. $117 votes cast. Anybody else willing vote experiencing challenges, please raise your country card. Any delegation having a challenge with voting, please raise your country card. Any takers? We still have a minute to vote. Those of us following online, please make sure you've cast your vote. We are at 120 now. We are waiting for any last minute votes to come in. Any last minute votes to come in? Thank you, conference. The timer has run out and the vote is closed. I ask the voting team to publish the results of the vote. Dear conference, with 686 votes in favor, 21 votes against, 13 abstentions, the motion is carried. We have tellers.
We thank the tellers for their support in the voting process throughout the conference. Thank you, everyone. We hope that everyone is familiar with the voting process by now, and we still have one more vote to go. We will now continue this voting session to formally appoint the Resolutions Committee. The Resolutions Committee supports member organizations in the development, review, and submission of proposals to the World Scout Conference. During the conference, the Resolutions Committee consolidates these proposals from member organizations and presents them in a report to the conference. In accordance to the conference rules of procedures, the World Scout Committee has provisionally appointed the following individuals to serve as the resolutions committees as shown on screen. And they have already been engaged in this capacity since April to support member organizations with the submissions of draft resolutions and amendments to the conference. Can I please ask the members of the Resolutions Committee to please stand where they are in the plenary to be recognized? Resolutions Committee members, please stand up. Thank you. I will now move the following motion for consideration. The conference appoints the following individuals as members of the Resolutions Committee of the 43rd World Scout Conference. Once again, I now invite all head of delegations to move to the e-voting system to get ready to cast their votes. As a reminder, if you encounter any issues, you can raise your country cards and our team will support you, or you can reach out to the help desk if you are joining us online. I now ask the voting team to confirm if all is in order and if we are ready to proceed with this vote. The voting team can now open the vote. The vote will be open for 5 minutes. With the vote open, delegations can now proceed to vote. As a reminder, this is a simple majority vote. We have 112 delegations who have already voted. As usual, if you require any support, please raise your country card or reach out to the online help desk team. Minutes to go. For those of you who did not get a chance to vote, please do so now if you wish to cast your vote. We have 1 minute left. Please be reminded that you will be receiving a confirmation message once your vote have been successfully cast. Twenty seconds. Okay, the vote is now closed. I ask the voting team to please publish the results. The motion has been carried with 706 votes in favor, 7 votes against, and 7 abstentions. The Resolutions Committee is now formally appointed, and we thank them for their continued support in decision-making process, both before and throughout this conference. We thank all delegations for their involvement in taking the first decisions of the conference on the officers. This will help support the procedures of our meetings over the next days. Thank you all.
Dear conference, after that wonderful business, we've earned ourselves a short break. Take this moment to network, relax, and recharge before diving back into 2 exciting sessions. The Triennial Plan reporting with the World Scout Committee Chairperson, Andy Chapman, and get ready to join WASM's Secretary General, Ahmad Alhendawi, to celebrate Vision 2023. Thank you so much, conference.
Thank you, everyone. Let's all get back here in 20 minutes. So let's reconvene in the plenary at 3:45. Thank you. Dear conference, please take back your seats as we are ready to reconvene again for the rest of our program today. We hope that you enjoy the short break. Please take back your seats. We're ready to start.
Welcome back, conference. Please take your seat. Please take your seat so we begin the next session. Welcome back, conference. We hope you enjoyed your break. Thank you, conference. We appreciate you so much for taking your seat. Find your seat, your delegation. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for taking your seat. Please take your seat. We begin the next session. Conference, please take your seats. Those of us who are still talking, we will connect some more after the break. Take your seat, conference. Thank you so much. You can have a seat with your coffee as we continue with the next session. At the back, please take your seat. Can I have at the back, please take your seat. You can have a seat with your coffee. Thank you so much for understanding and complying. Friends in Scouting, welcome back to plenary, and we hope you had a nice break. Before we kickstart our next session, a quick friendly reminder for all of you to download the conference app. It is essential that all our participants use this tool, as we'll be pushing a lot of information announcements there. Simply search for World Scout Conference on either your App Store or Google Play Store. The setup is very simple, but you should need support. Please ask our help desk later to assist you with it. It is important. We are now ready to move on to the next part of our session, the report from the 2021-2024 Triennial, which will look back over the past 3 years of incredible achievements and milestones of our work. The report of the World Triennial Plan has already been shared with member organizations through the Scout Park. To inspire and help us reflect on the achievements of the past triennium, we are pleased to welcome Andy Chapman, Chairperson of the World Scout Committee, whose address will be followed by a report from the youth advisors to the World Scout Committee. Andy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, chairs, distinguished guests, friends in Scouting, and my fellow Scouts. It's my great honor and privilege to be here with you in person at this incredible event and to welcome the many participants who are joining us online from all around the world. For more than a century, the World Scout Conference has been a gathering place for Scouting's leadership to come together, to celebrate the shared values and spirit of Scouting, and to take decisions that will shape the future of this entire movement. As I reflect on my time as chairperson of the World Scout Committee and look back on the past 3 years, it's safe to say this has been a truly unique and remarkable triennium in so many ways. Together, we have shown great strength and unity as a movement to overcome the impacts of a global pandemic, while also advancing an agenda that will usher in the next decade of Scouting. I am incredibly proud and inspired by everything that we have accomplished. If you'll just give me one moment. One of our most important aims was to support national Scout organizations with membership expansion and retention efforts to focus on those hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. We achieved the largest growth period in the history of World Scouting, reaching a record number of 57 million Scouts and millions of beneficiaries impacted by our movement. We saw a full membership recovery across all of our regions from the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and supported National Scout organizations to re-engage young people and volunteers in Scouting. We reached a major milestone with 17 million girls and women now involved in Scouting, the highest membership of girls and women ever in our history. And we expanded Scouting to new countries, welcoming 4 new member organizations we saw earlier today: Antigua and Barbuda, Congo, Mali, and just yesterday, we welcomed our 176th member, Albania, to the Scout movement. Let's welcome them once again. As a way to better understand the demographics of our movement, we also completed an extensive research on diversity and inclusion, identifying areas for improvement to become more diverse and inclusive as a movement for the future, and making this area one of the key pillars of our new strategy for scouting. This triennium, we engaged over 450 volunteers and implemented 29 projects connected to the World Triennial Plan with an estimated 90% of the key performance indicators, or as we call them, KPIs, that we achieved. And the entire World Scout Committee is really proud of this achievement that we did together. We continue to strengthen the capacity of NSOs with the delivery of more than 420 services this triennium. That accounted for 50,000 hours of service delivered since we launched the WASM services, and we do this to support the growth and development of our member organizations. We supported and delivered more than 400 events and trainings, seminars, conferences at the regional and the world levels of scouting, and upgraded the digital experience of all of our events. And we added new resources, policies, and e-learning courses into our Learning Zone library to support NSOs, and launched a new cutting-edge service to enable member organizations to measure the social impact of scouting in their countries. We published key educational resources and tools and supported 115 National Scout organizations to review and modernize their youth program. And we launched 2 new educational initiatives, Health Allies and Life Leaders for NSOs, to incorporate education for sustainable development alongside their youth program. An upgraded version of the Scouts for SDGs Hub now brings World Scouting's educational initiatives together in one online place with educational activities for young people and for adult leaders. Our global support assessment tool, or as we all know it as GSAT, went through a major upgrade, and we supported 132 NSOs with the induction of their board of directors and by implementing the best practices that we have established in good governance. Next, and certainly not least, we also made child and youth safety one of our highest priorities this triennium by implementing a comprehensive process to ensure full compliance of all NSOs with the highest standards of safe from harm. To support this effort, making scouting events safer, we developed an assessment and reporting tools. We conducted regional panels and delivered services to NSOs specific in this area. Another key priority for us this triennium was sustainability. We upgraded World Scouting's sustainability practices and initiatives and developed the organization's first climate impact strategy to guide us toward becoming carbon neutral by the next decade. We made the promotion of youth leadership a key focus, and we expanded international leadership training, or as many of us call it, ILT, the program across more regions to engage and upskill young leaders in scouting worldwide. We're really proud of this accomplishment. This triennium, we managed our finances prudently by completing 3 financial years with 3 balanced budgets, really showing the good governance that we exemplify on the World Scout Committee. We strengthened our financial policies and practices, and we reduced the number of external audit observations to a record low. And we enhanced our registration fee system, as you all know, by proposing a 5% increase to the organization to help us mitigate the negative impacts that we are all experiencing for inflation. This triennium, however, was not without challenges that we all faced. We saw National Scout organizations rally in support in the aftermath of environmental disasters, of conflicts, humanitarian crisis situations, to support young people and the communities that they serve. Recognizing the urgency of this area, we expanded support through our Humanitarian Action Service and mobilized financial and technical assistance for member organizations that were in need of this type of support. We supported the transition of the Eurasia Scout region to ensure a better experience for our members in Eurasia. This included the successful transition of those NSOs to the Asia Pacific region and to the European Scout region. And we managed through and learned from the most challenging World Scout Jamboree in our recent history. We commissioned an independent review of the event and built on the learnings by developing an advanced WASM strategy to enhance the planning, delivery, and oversight of future World Scout events. I know we'll be discussing this in much more detail later in the conference. We reimagined this World Scout Conference to ensure a more engaging and intergenerational dialogue experience for all of us here in the room and everyone who's joining us online. In December, we convened the 4th World Scout Education Congress in Paris and adopted a roadmap for the future of education in Scouting that will pay many dividends down the road. We innovated the experience of our digital jamboree, Jota Jotai, Jamboree on the air, Jamboree on the internet, reaching the largest number of participants and integrating the Scout Pass as a new way for Scouts to earn and share digital passes through this event. We redeveloped our mainscout.org website. We launched the Treehouse as a new online community for member organizations, and we upgraded the Scout donation platform, making it easier than ever for NSOs to access the information and resources that they need to be up to date. We expanded our efforts to tell the story of Scouting's impact around the world by engaging ambassadors, influencers, and young content creators across the region. We also continued our digital transformation efforts in the Bureau to adopt the latest technologies and introduce solutions that will ready us for the future of work. In this triennium, as I'm sure you're aware from looking around the room, we completed the most significant refresh of the World Scouting brand in nearly 20 years to make it more appealing to young people as we continue to position us as the world's leading educational movement. And we used our voice to influence the positive change in the world. And a team of world and regional youth representatives engaged in regional and international events to represent our movement at most every global convening around the world. We developed our first ever business development and resource mobilization strategy while successfully unlocking new resources and strengthening our collaboration with our wonderful friends at the World Scout Foundation. And we expanded our network of partners to 20 key institutional organizations and donors. And together, again with the World Scout Foundation, we secured more than $13 million in additional funding to support all of you, our member organizations. Thank you, everyone, for your support with those efforts. And last, but certainly not least, we readied our movement for the next decade, ahead through the development of an ambitious vision and a strategy for scouting, backed by a solid research and the unprecedented engagement of young people, adults, partners, and all of you, the leadership of our National Scout Organization. And I know we'll have many opportunities to discuss this further at the conference as well. So, this triennium has been a remarkable one, with these and many more highlights for all of us to celebrate together. But I also want to take a moment to thank and to recognize the many World Scout Bureau staff, volunteers, WASM consultants, GSAT and Safe from Harm assessors, and the other contributors who made all of this work possible. Let's give them a round of applause. Also want to thank our other volunteers that include those who are part of the steering, the finance, the audit, the constitutions, the honors and awards, and the ethics committee. Thank you so much for your service to support the governance of the World Scout Committee. Thank you. I also want to recognize the working groups of the World Scout Committee, the working groups that focused on our continuous improvement, our fee system, and the transition of the Eurasia Scout region. Thank you so much. And also to the hundreds of volunteers who were involved in the operational framework to deliver the objectives of our World Triennial Plan. Thank you, Team Purple, for your incredible dedication, innovation, and energy to deliver on this triennial plan. Thank you so much. So as you may have seen online, we have just announced a new open call for the next triennium. And I encourage all of you to help spread the word, to help attract new talent and new volunteers that will help carry out our collective work forward for the next triennium. And if you haven't seen it, just look at all of our social media accounts and hit the share button, please. And now, without further ado, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome to the stage the youth advisors to the World Scout Committee to present their report on the past triennium. Please join me in welcoming the youth advisors to the stage. Good luck.
Thank you for that introduction, Andy. And hello, conference. We are happy to be here with you today. Wasn't it amazing to see the many accomplishments over the past 3 years for our movement? And guess what? They were in direct response to so many important topics for young people, like youth innovation, environmental sustainability, and social impact. Hey, Fatima, what do you have over there?
This is our youth advisory report. And as you can see, we've had a very busy 3 years. From being involved in the operational framework, participating in standing committees, co-chairing task forces, and more, we work to always ensure that the voices of young people are always heard in our decision-making processes. So, Lamin, what's in this report?
Well, Fatima, our team didn't work solo because the entire World Scout Committee has been dedicated to responding to the action plan agreed upon by our young leader in 2021. at the 40th World Scout Youth Forum. This is why our contribution have been taken in account. And Alassane, don't you have a big question for us?
Oh, the question. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, so what happens now? As you all know, this time there is no World Scout Youth Forum, and also the World Scout Committee has decided to discontinue the Youth Advisor system. So yes, there will no longer be youth advisors to the World Scout Committee, but we're eager to increase the number of young people as voting members in our decision making. So, Melissa, can you tell us more about this?
Yes, of course. So, this decision was taken following an extensive research and consultation with our movement to better understand structural barriers for youth engagement in decision making and also to propose alternative measures to overcome them. Because of this, we have realized that at every level of our organization, we must change our perspectives and do more to further support young people in decision making. Lisa, what are some things that we have done in the world level?
We have done many, Melissa, haven't we? We've been championing in many things for the youth leadership. So some of the examples that we can share would be that we have shared new training courses for the potential World Scout Committee candidates, and also the development of the youth leadership resources for the NSOs, and providing financial incentives for the young people so that they have more opportunities to join in the World Scout Conference. And guess what? We're already seeing a great progress. Look around you. 30% of our conference today are under 30. Can we give great round of applause for this? But because we always strive for continuous improvement, don't we have a lot more to progress, Reese?
Indeed, we need everyone on board. As member organizations, you play a key role in preparing young people and making spaces for them to be an active part of decision making. Be supportive so young people can be a part of decision-making boards, and offer capacity building opportunities, mentorship programs, review your youth involvement policies, and overall, be sure to practice intergenerational collaboration.
Yeah.
And as we explore the way forward together, we carry a profound desire to achieve even more. Our goal is not just to engage youth, but to empower them as leaders, guiding World Scouting towards new horizons. It's about embracing youth leadership and supporting the mutual exchange of intergenerational knowledge.
It's also important to highlight that the decision of discontinuing the youth advisor on the World Scout Committee should also have no impact on the regional and national levels. Instead, the World Scout Committee encourage regional and national youth advisory system until we arrive on a top level where we are sure that youth engagement is part of our organizational structure through a holistic way.
So let's keep going and growing, because opportunities like the local youth advisor system, trainings for young people, and also the youth forums provide to young people to fulfill their potential in the Scout environments.
Many changes are happening as we aim towards youth leadership to encourage a true, holistic, and sustainable engagement of young people in decision making. So we must take a moment to recognize those individuals whose commitments and contributions have played an important role in the progress that we're celebrating today.
To all youth advisors who have served since 2005, you have nothing but short of true inspiration, and you have paved way for the success that we're celebrating today. And so we would like to take a moment to thank you. And so for those of you who are here with us today on site, and for some of you who are online, could you please stand and wave so that we know where you are? We truly, truly appreciate. Thank you for all that you have done for us. And
Thank you.
yeah.
We are looking to the future with encouragement and determination that youth leadership will be fully embraced and implemented across the movement. We recognize that the barriers to youth engagement are not obstacles, but rather challenges to overcome. And we are prepared as a movement to move forward to ensure that our belief is simple yet powerful, that age should never be a determinant of potential. It's time to embrace a mindset of intergenerational leadership within World Scouting.
Well, we're looking to the future with encouragement and determination that youth leadership will be fully embraced and implemented across the Scout movement. We call upon all regions and national Scout organizations to keep improving the youth leadership in decision-making processes so youth can be integrated into your boards and regional committees as members with full decision-making rights.
It's extremely important to national scout organization to nominate young leader as candidate to the world and regional scout committees. Ensure young people have active roles in national board and always keep youth leadership as a priority. By implementing a capacity building framework, challenge will be faced, but they cannot alter our path. They cannot alter our path, for our movement will be the one that change the world. Therefore, let us stand together as a beacon of hope, united in our effort for a youth-driving change.
So, let's remember that this movement is made by, for, and with young people. And as Lisa said, while having 30% of today's delegates as young people, it's a great achievement, there is still more to be done. So we must take more steps to increase the number of young people and ensure that they have effective decision-making process in the World Scout Committee and beyond. So it's our shared responsibility to keep youth in the driver's seats of the decision-making.
As we move forward, we can confidently say that WASM is prepared for the change, as we are now getting prepared for life's challenges. But now it's your moment. Together we strive to achieve meaningful youth leadership and make it a reality. Are you ready to embrace this journey?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So-
you.
Thank you.
I hear. It's okay.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, and all our youth advisors for these engaging reports. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, conference. Now is our opportunity to zoom out and look back on the achievements from the last 10 years. We celebrate and reflect the impact of Vision 2023. It's hard to encapsulate everything that we have accomplished as a global movement over the past decade at all levels of Scouting. So we would like to invite everyone to contribute to mapping our key achievements related to Vision 2023. We have created a map of the world and would now like to invite participants to add their national Scout organizations, major milestones and contributions to this map. You can scan the QR code on the screen, it's going to come up in a second. Thank you. And add your achievements to the Vision 2023 map, and we will revisit them at the end of the session. So take a minute and scan the QR code, and we will be able to see what you have contributed. Now, to take us through a journey to reflect on the last decade of Scouting and to mark some of the key milestones from Vision 2023, please welcome Ahmad Alhendawi, the Secretary General of the World Organization of the Scout Movement.
Hello, hello. How are you, conference? How's the energy level? High? How high? How high? Go higher? Good. So be ready, because as you said now, we will be ready to travel together down the memory lane. We'll be ready to reflect on a decade of Scouting in a remarkable journey for this movement and what we accomplished together. This is an opportunity for all of us to reflect on this journey and Vision 2023. And can I ask here, how many of you were there when the vision was adopted in 2014? Raise your hand. Some, maybe 10, 20%, but guess what? 100% of everyone in this room is a beneficiary of that vision. We all benefited from it, whether you were there at the starting point or at this relaunch point as well. That vision has 4 anchors: growth, impact, influence, and unity. And what I'm going to do is trying to refresh your memory a little bit by talking about each one of these anchors and what we achieved together. So how about we start with the growth? Okay? Good. Look at this. From the starting point of Vision 2023, we estimated that we were 38 million. We are now at 57 million, as Andy said, and that's a result of better measurement, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's better reporting as well, and significant growth as a result of a lot of the hard work you have done. 38 to 57 million. This is the largest growth period in the history for our 117-year history for Scouting. The many NSOs who implemented the growth strategy as well and requested WOSM services were beneficiary of this growth. But when we reflect on this journey wasn't generated only because of WOSM services or some support. It was from deep realization of National Scout Organization of what needs to be done. So let's listen to this story from Czechia.
Scouting in Czechia has grown by more than 50% since 2014, when Vision 2023 of World Scouting was approved. Our membership grew from 50,000 to 76,000 members this year. What contributes to this continuous growth? Let me give you 3 factors. First, our educational offerings play a crucial role. After a major program renewal in the early 2000s, we continuously update our program to keep it relevant and attractive to young people. Second, we work hard to maintain a positive public image. Frequent media visibility and a strong social media presence contribute to high levels of trust in Scouting in Czechia. 9 out of 10 Czech parents would support their children in joining Scouts. And third, we take a good care of our volunteers. We provide a high-quality training framework and a stable organizational governance that meets the needs of our members. We are aware that past success does not guarantee a future one, which is why we included growth as one of the strategic priorities for Czech Scouting for the next 9 years. We can't wait to make Scout adventures accessible to even more young people.
There is no secret formula for that growth. It's all the components that were mentioned here. Good governance, better program, ability to speak to the public as well. But what was fascinating during this journey is even during the difficult times, when I would say even the toughest of times during COVID, we have seen how the movement came together, rebounded quickly, and we offer a number of programs for young people during the pandemic. Andy talked about the recovery of membership, but it was more than just recovery. It was about keeping the program going and supporting young people. And credit to all of you, all National Scout organizations who connected with their members and advocated for young people during that challenging time. Let's hear another story from Nepal about how they managed it during the pandemic.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, we faced challenges with remote communication and activity disruptions in local units, which led to a decline in retention rates. To overcome this, we launched a massive training program for Scout leaders, promoted online events, and involved Scouts in a community awareness campaign about COVID-19. These tips not only helped us adapt, but also reinforced our commitment to our mission. The most important factor here is the coordination and collaboration with local governments in all over the country, as well as the partnership with UN agencies played vital role to reach out to the community to promote Scouting at grassroots.
And Andy mentioned the number of new organizations we added this Triennial, but here's a fun fact as well. 18 new countries joined the Scouting and joined the World Organization of the Scout Movement during this vision. We committed to grow, but it was also about bringing Scouting to more countries. And it wasn't only about growing numbers or adding more countries and ensuring that Scouting is available to more young people around the world. It was also about protecting that right of non-formal education, reaching the marginalized. We have seen Scouting for refugees through partnerships of working with the toughest to reach population. We have seen programs like Ticket to Life helping young people who dropped out of schools and others. It was that kind of a growth that really securing the right of non-formal education through Scouting to more young people around the world. And with it, we have seen how we were mobilizing to respond to emergencies. Over 100 emergency responses in the lifetime of America, and from the CEO, Roger, what they did.
The biggest barrier to growth is simple lack of awareness. To address this, we have launched a campaign to refresh and reintroduce the brand and then re-invite families to join. On May 7th, we unveiled our new name, Scouting America, which recognizes that almost 20% of our members are female. This historic announcement generated more than 19 billion media impressions in 8,400 outlets. We're following up this fall with a major media campaign inviting all youth and families to join. Youth and families need and want the fun, fellowship, and ideals that Scouting offers. To grow, we simply need to invite them to join. Together, we can prepare them and the world for a better future.
And today, 95% of National Scout organizations, they are open for girls and young women. I think we can make that number 100. I think we can ensure that the program is available and open for everyone. We have seen that expansion, how it offered more opportunities to young people. Now let me take you to another anchor of this vision, the second one of looking at the impact that we generated together. And with impact, we have seen an incredible surge of services, of support across boundaries. Look at these numbers. When we launched WOSM services, we knew it will be helpful. We didn't know that we will be delivering over 1,000 services. We didn't know that 186 GSAT have been delivered, more than once to some National Scout organizations. We have a library and tools available to National Scout organizations, over 950 of these resources. And we have a team, an expanded team of consultants and assessors, over 600 of them, who have supported this delivery. So it was from Scouts to support the growth of this organization and of the National Scout organizations. We know that NSOs who receive services are more likely to grow. We have evidence for that, because that shows also the commitment. And always we say, whether you are a big National Scout organization or just starting, there's always a room to learn from others. There's always a space to learn from others how we can grow and have new ideas. And we have seen what Andy talked about, this digital ecosystem. We're almost obsessed with the idea how we can make every National Scout organization able to access WOSM. We have designed the 3 layers. One that we call the public-facing and newscout.org, the SDP Scout the Nation platform. And the second are the movement-facing work in this digital ecosystem, including the treehouse, the data portal, the directory, a number of other tools, and enhancing our internal communication. And the thing that we're very excited about is the new launch of the educational initiatives as Scouts for SDGs, bringing that in the hands of young people around the world and their ability to access all of these tools. Speaking of a Scout for SDGs, look at this number. Nearly 3 billion hours of service were delivered under the Scouts for SDGs mobilization. It's a remarkable surge of services, of support, and projects. But these are not just numbers. These are projects and community actions that made the life of many communities better. And I would like to share with you this message from some of our Messenger of Peace heroes.
Scouting has given me so much opportunity to better myself and given me skills I needed to prepare myself in dealing with other people and in creating a positive impact in my own community.
I think with all what's happening around the world and the Scouts number that is increasing, so more people believe in the Scout message.
Messenger of Peace hero is each Scout all over the world.
Contributing to peacemaking through SDGs.
It's more than just an award. It's always a responsibility for us Scouts in our daily life.
Young people should contribute to peace because they are the future. They are the one who will be leading the future and also creating a peaceful and a safe environment for everyone.
A Messenger of Peace hero is someone belonging to a large network around the world of people trying to create a better world.
Is someone who inspires, who motivates people, or is somebody who takes action for their community, supports others, and is an ambassador.
Look for everybody else and seek for what they need and also appreciate the differences between us.
We are all heroes in our own way.
A Messengers of Peace hero is an example that inspires other people and other Scouts to create a positive change in their own communities.
Remarkable stories of our young heroes who have done incredible service to their communities. But none of this work can be possible if we don't make sure that every young person and child and adult in Scouting is safe. Safe Scouting is not just a title. It was a commitment that we all took through the policies, through changing the Constitution, and through having that commitment translated at all levels. And today, we would like to remind you all of the need to put this as the highest priority for your work at the national level, so we can make sure that the Scouting is safe for all. Our call to action is for all of you to join in completing your self-assessment and requesting a support and service, whether from WOSM, through its consultants, or through other National Scout organizations who can share that experience with you. We have a process today with assessment in one hand and with the training in the other hand. And the commitment we all made that Scouting will be safe for every young person around the world. And to do that, we have to start with the leadership at the national level. I urge you that in your next board meeting at the National Scout Organization at the national level, to put this as a matter of urgency and priority, to meet the standards that we all accepted as a world organization of the Scout movement. Now let me take you to the third anchor and talk about influence. We have never been positioned maybe in our life as World Scouting to really claim this line. This is from Vision 2023, where we said We would like to be the world's leading educational youth movement. Not a self-proclaimed youth movement that is leading the world, but it's truly recognized in various sectors and spaces so we can influence positive change. We have seen the expansion of this network of partners. And in the way we look at partnerships in Scouting, and here I would like to recognize the many partners who have joined us as well at this conference, we think of partners in 3 key categories. We think of knowledge partners. For example, we wanted to design the Earth Tribe. We go to experts in the field. We work with the UN Environment. When we want to develop the Dialogue for Peace, we work with KaiSeed and others. Or the second type of partnership that we seek is what we call it funding partners, in a way that would ensure we unlock more resources for National Scout organizations. Or the third one is the one that could help us be a key voice in global advocacy. And we have seen an expansion of this network of youth representatives who have expanded their participation in online events and offline events and UN and intergovernmental processes. And in fact, I think it will be very fitting to all of us to bring some of their voices here. And I would like us all to listen to Meg from Australia.
As a youth representative, the biggest thing that I've learned is the capacity of young people. I have absolutely loved the opportunity to learn about every young person across World Scouting and the contribution that they've been able to make in their local communities. And to be able to take that and to share it at a world level has been an absolute privilege and an honor. And even though I've walked into rooms with United Nations representatives and world leaders, I have felt so strong because I know that I'm there representing all young people within Scouting. And I've learned that even though we might not always feel like it, we are experts. We are experts in our own story. We are experts in our own experiences. And that deserves to hold a space. And so to learn about the capacity of young people collaboratively across the world and then to take this onto the world stage and to share exactly what we can do and to put the pressure and to keep our world leaders accountable has been an absolute honor. And it's been something that I have learnt to take on my shoulders because of the capacity for us every day to be experts.
Thank you, Meg. Yeah, it's a team of growing youth representatives who have taken the global stage on multiple occasions, from the climate conferences to the UN conferences and beyond. And we have seen also how we teamed up with other organizations in the sector over the past 10 years to convene major gatherings, from the World Non-Formal Education in Brazil to the global youth mobilization with our partners in the Big Six. We have seen us, together with WAGS, the IFRC, the YMCA and the YWCA and the International Award, unlocking $17 million of additional funding for youth-led solutions through phase 1 and phase 2 of this global youth mobilization. Well, $17 million, so good. One of the great things we have done, in my view, over the past 10 years is the way we have been communicating in the world and the way we expanded our outreach. What you see is how we've grown our social media networks with 1.5 million followers across all social media. That's not the number of impressions, those are actual followers across all our accounts. And what we wanted to do is to make sure that the voice of the movement is youthful, is impactful, and it's also inspirational. Sometimes we think of ourselves, we are in the business of telling good news to this deeply disturbed and troubled world. And that's why we're asking people to generate that content themselves, to put their messages out there, and to communicate to young people through the platforms they like. Not all young people, by the way, use Facebook anymore. Many of them use other tools, and many of them, they prefer to use their own tools as well. And I think part of what we have been trying to do is to work with them to see how we can put the messages that they see fitting to inspire others to join. And we have seen also work of many National Scout organizations over the past 10 years and reviving their brand and bringing new energy from rebranding or refreshing the brands. We have seen that from Azerbaijan to Australia. I've seen in Slovenia, also in the UK and a number of other countries, and France. All these examples help to re-energize the image of Scouting globally. And in Waltham, we also took inspiration by that. We thought it's time for us to bring and to re-energize our vision as we enter the new vision. So with that, this energizer brand of World Scouting will help us to bring that facelift that the organization is needed as we tackle more issues. And in fact, connected to that, we're expanding our network of ambassadors. And we have a special message from our Chief Ambassador, Barry Grills, to all of you about how we'd like to expand the network of ambassadors. Let's listen to Barry.
Hey friends, Bear Grylls, Chief Ambassador, World Scouting here. I'm wishing all of you an incredible World Scout Conference. I'm incredibly proud to be continuing in my role as Chief Ambassador for this inspirational global movement. Scouting has always been about adventure, about teamwork, about empowering young people to be ready for life, which is why I'm so excited to announce a global search to find a new generation of ambassadors who can join me in taking this Scouting mission to the next level. We're on the lookout for inspiring individuals who live by Scouting values, who want to contribute to the growth and want to impact Scouting all around the world. So if you know someone that could be an incredible ambassador alongside me, with us, with our Scouting family, let us know and help us with the search.
Thank you, Bear. And we will be soon announcing the global call for more ambassadors. And we invite you to recommend ambassadors at the national level so we can have a more diverse, geographically age, gender, also more supporters for Scouting who can help us convey this message to more. So please send these nominations. We'll be announcing it through a Scout Pack soon. Now let me take you to perhaps the most critical aspect of this vision. It's one thing for you to do good in the world. It's another thing for you to do it together and to be united in doing it. Our unity is our greatest strength. It's built in shared values. It's built in that commitment that we will grow but stay united. And that what brings us together is more than what can divide us. In a world that is struggling with a lot of divisions, Scouting can show the world as it should be, not as is. The world as is divided and is struggling with many conflicts. But the world as it should be is building peace and unity, building bringing people together. I think that's what we do in Scouting best. Part of where we do that is at many of our events, where a lot of the cultures meld together to form that beautiful mosaic of the world events. Do you know that over the past 10 years, between workshops, seminars, events, educational events, regional and world ones, we delivered over 1,400 events in Waltham at a variety of configurations. It's a large number, and many of you participate in many of these events. So now I would like to ask you all to stand up. Rise with us, because we have a little surprise here that I wanted to share with you. 10 years of events. So many of you have seen a lot of these events that we are going now to walk down the memory lane and remember them. And we are going to dance a little bit with this music. And if you participate in any of these events, make noise. How about that? Ready? Let's go together. so 1,400 events that many of you have witnessed part of them. But let's also be honest, these events are learning experiences for many of us. And as an organization, as a learning organization, we would like to take these events to the next generation, where we put more emphasis on the safety, sustainability, and impact. That's what you, our membership, wanted us to do. And that's what we will be doing. That's why we have an events strategy put forward for this conference, and our commitment to make sure that this remarkable experience that were enjoyed by all of you and many others will continue to be enjoyed by generations to come of young people. And let me here pause and make a special thank for the millions of volunteers. This movement would be nothing without the over 5 million volunteers who are powering it day in and day out, weekend, month out as well. They have been providing this service in their local communities and welcoming more young people. The volunteers who truly make the fabric and the mosaic of the Scout movement. And we have just announced, as many of you would know, our open call to support Wilson in our work. And I would invite you, National Scout organizations, whether the ones here or the ones online, who I hope they dance with us, that you also join us in looking at submitting some of your candidates and your volunteers to support the work of World Scouting over the next 10 years. The unity of this movement is made unique and united because of all of you. And what we have at this World Scout Conference is another chapter to write in the history of World Scouting. These are some old gatherings of World Scout conferences. I'm not sure how many of you were here, but definitely some maybe were here and many were over there. And today we're adding a new chapter in this remarkable story of Scouting. A display of unity, a show that what happens when we come together. A reminder that you are not walking alone in this life, or you are not lonely in your job as a leader at the national level. Together, through Vision 2023, we have traveled this journey together. We have made a difference in the life of so many young people around the world. And at this conference, we have the opportunity to write a new chapter. Over this past 10 years, we have seen a lot of these achievements. This is a timeline of a lot of the things we have celebrated and achieved. There were lots of highlights, some challenges, an incredible deal of learnings for all of us. There were the ability for us to be a voice of good in the world. And the names of our founder, Scouting is there to keep moving. We're a movement, we're not stagnant. And this movement builds on its achievements and looks to the future with a brighter eye. This is not a movement that can be discouraged by conflicts or things that can set us down, but can rise above these challenges. I mean it when I say it's not only for us, but for this world, for this generation, and many generations to come. It's a movement because it keeps moving. And with that, we have an opportunity to write the next chapter of Scouting, the next 10 years, the next push for the future. We didn't inherit this movement. We are borrowing it from the future generations. So we have to pass it on stronger, more vibrant, more united. And that's why the new vision is promising exactly that. Bold commitments to unleash the true power of young people and make them true agents to shape this world with their energy, with their talent, but to tackle some of the defining issues of our time. I always say the problem with the climate change and some of the conflicts we see today, that we might arrive to a moment where you'll not be able to give a speech and say, my generation has failed, you might do a better job. Because some of these conflicts are irreversible in nature. Some of these challenges of climate change could make countries disappear and people suffer. And we have that opportunity to put Scouting to do what it does best, empowering young people through non-formal education based on shared values. And with that, young people can go on to do the magic they can do in the world. So this is a 10 years of amazing celebration that we have together. Thanks to all of you for being part of it And together, we can do the next 10 years. And if anyone can do it, it's the Scouts. Thank you.
Thank you, conference. What an exciting, fulfilling 10 years we have had with Vision 2023. Thank you to Ahmad for taking us on a journey of reflection and reminding us of the achievements our movements have seen and contribute towards during the last decade. Conference, to assist us in finishing off this evening, please help me welcome on stage our host team, Omar Gamal, co-head of the Logistics Committee, for some key logistical announcement. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. First, let me talk to you about the daily dialogue. You'll get the chance to meet your international teams on level -3, the one above us. You'll be looking for the gemstones signs on the doors. You'll be gathering with your international teams inside. You'll choose your lead and reflect on the 3 questions that we have available on the app. Online participants will be attending through a Zoom link, which is also available on the conference app. After this, we're going to be having our opening ceremony. So after finishing the daily dialogue, we'll be starting a standing dinner starting at 6 at the same locations that we had lunch today. Dinner will be moving to the opening ceremony. We'll start directly after dinner. So we'll be finishing dinner by 6:30, then heading out of the venue, the entrance, going left to the loading zone where the buses are waiting for us to move to the opening ceremony. Buses will be waiting for us. There will be volunteers helping you and us, guiding you to the buses and loading. Loading will be done on first come, first serve basis. So when you reach the bus, you get in, there will be volunteers on the bus helping you and guiding you through the event. As soon as we reach the opening venue, we will be disembarking from the buses. There will be volunteers helping us and guiding you through the opening ceremony venue and placing everyone to their seats. The opening ceremony starts at 8, will be done around 10. We would like to give you some announcements and things to take care of during the opening ceremony. We advise that you have your passports during the opening ceremony. It's highly advisable. If you don't have your passports, please at least have a copy of your passport available. Phones are allowed in the opening venue, but power banks and chargers, cables, and so on are not advised, so please be conscious of that. We hope you enjoy our opening ceremony and have you enjoy your lunch, dinner, and see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. I hope that was clear. So just to remind you again about the daily dialogue, first you'll meet your international teams. You go on level -3. You will be looking for the gemstone signs in the rooms and you'll be finding your team. And then you'll be choosing your team lead and you'll be reflecting on the 3 questions that are available on the Sessions app. For our friends who are joining us online, you can attend through the Zoom link, which is also available on the Session app. Please make sure you integrate and find your international teams and then to also be on time for us to meet and go to the opening ceremony as mentioned and explained by Omar in a few minutes.
Thank you once again for joining us on day 1 at the 43rd World Scout Conference here in Egypt and those online. Conference, this concludes the formal part of our day today. As we progress to the daily dialogues and later the opening ceremony, we will see you here again tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. Please be on time. Go have fun.